Hi, students. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya. Sim, thank you so much for the support. Hope you all are doing great. So, Venezuelans for Trump. Hope you will still vote for Trump. You will vote, continue to vote because he's about to boot you out. Now, Supreme Court will allow Trump administration to end deportation protections for hundreds of thousands of Venezuelan migrants. Make no mistake, guys. This is pure. I ain't giving you wrong or bad news. This is straight up. A whole 350,000. And how did they fish out these 350,000 people or persons? Now, let me tell you something. The people that are innocent and people that are not innocent will be deported at this point in time. A whole you people woke up and choose to vote against your own, not even against your own interest. Who gave you the right to stay back in the United States because of the problem you all are facing in your country? Joe Biden. And you all woke up and said it is this man that you want to vote for. You have voted for him. Now they are about to boot you. Continue to boot them out. I did not have any, I cannot say sorry or I feel bad for anybody at this point in time because what you people did are affecting my own people, right? And other people too that voted right. So you all are going to face this particular one squarely. And my heart goes out to the people that actually voted and will be affected by this. Let's get into
Listen, I don't know what got Ben Marcellus over there at the Midas Touch. Somebody touched the nerve with Ben. He's sick of all of y'all. Yeah, he's sick of all of y'all. Hey Ben, Midas Touch follows me. I feel like a superstar. I couldn't help it. I had to do it. Anyway, I was watching early this morning. I was watching one of the Midas Touch videos, and it's a video that Ben Marcellus did. Let me just show you.
I just think about, all of these MAGA supporters too, in light of all of the events recently. Like, I think of the Venezuelans for Trump, the Latinos for Trump, the Cubans for Trump. The Supreme Court yesterday ruled in favor of Donald Trump's emergency request to revoke temporary protected status. The Supreme Court did it in the form of a procedural move, which was to stay a district court from California's ruling blocking Donald Trump from revoking TPS. So now TPS can be revoked until the case works its way back up to the Supreme Court. So Trump gets to go after the Venezuelans, who he promised he was not going to go after, the Cubans, who he promised not to go after, the Latinos for Trump he promised not to go after, send him back to Maduro and Castro, or maybe they even go to concentration camps in El Salvador. And these were people, by and large, who were supportive of Donald Trump, and they said, no, he's just going to go after the criminals. He's not going to go after us. He thinks you're the criminals because of the color of your skin.
Thank you.
Don't you realize why he's giving expedited refugee or asylum status and a path to citizenship to white South Africans, the Afrikaners? As long as you're white and from South Africa, Trump says you're the victim of a genocide which is not taking place there, and you get fast-tracked because of the color of your skin. But if you're a Latino for Trump, a Cuban for Trump, a Venezuelan for Trump, you go back to the totalitarian regime you fled. And by the way, all these Venezuelans for Trump hated Biden. And Biden was the one who was protecting your temporary protected status, and Donald Trump sending you back to Maduro. Okay? So all of these photos of like the mayor of Doral, Christy Fraga, who has the largest Venezuelan community in the country, and she said, I love Trump, I love Trump. All of these city council members, the Venezuelans and Cubans, you just sold all of your people out. Ridiculous. And then you have...
Child, where is my dance? Poor Ben, he's frustrated. He just doesn't get it. He just can't understand how a marginalized group of people who has a lot to lose, how they went into the voting booth to vote for the man who told them, if you put me in office, you will lose. Ben just does not get it. Let me help you out, Ben. It's racism. See, in these marginalized communities, the Latino and Latina community, the Muslim community, the Arab community, there's this hierarchy, there's this caste system, right? There's a superiority complex. They came in this way, and so they look down upon the Latinos and the Latinas that came in a different way. They view them as criminals. They don't understand that their brown skin, their accents, that is criminal to white supremacists and racist individuals. And the sad part is that he told them what he was going to do. It's going to be the bloodiest mass deportation in history. And he's doing just that. Their TPS status, they thought, held them above other Latinos. The only reason why they were here and protected was because of Joe Biden. And because of their vote, they voted for all of their protections to go away. Well, Ben, I know you won't cross over into this arena, but I'm here. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I don't give a flying fuck if they get deported back to Venezuela. I don't give a flying fuck if they end up over there in El Salvador or in some other country. I don't care. They're getting what they voted for because they voted to hurt other marginalized people. It's just their karma.
Make no mistake, guys, this is a major victory for the Trump administration and its efforts to carry out what the president has promised will be the largest deportation operation in American history. The Supreme Court's ruling will pave the way for what could be one of the largest terminations of legal status in recent U.S. history. We're talking about 350,000 Venezuelan migrants who, up until this week, were relying on these deportation protections and government-issued work permits under the Temporary Protected Status, or TPS, program that the Trump administration can now terminate. And ICE has not said that they will immediately target this population, but legally speaking, they are now fair game for being arrested and deported from the country. And in terms of why the administration is doing this, its argument is that even though country conditions in Venezuela are still problematic, the country is still in deep political and economic crisis, it is not in the national security interests of the U.S. to continue this policy because it says it attracts illegal immigration and that some of the Venezuelans who benefit from this policy are suspected gang members.
You know, Camilo, when I was based in Chicago, I covered the migrants who were sleeping in police stations, and nearly everyone was Venezuelan. There's just a huge wave of Venezuelan migrants that came to the U.S. If you are one of those people, what does this mean for you? Are you now technically undocumented? Do you need to deport? What does this mean for them?
They're now in legal limbo. Their deportation protections are set to expire, and they will no longer be able to lawfully and legally work in the U.S., so they could be pushed into the underground economy, and they could join the millions of people who are in this country illegally and who can now be arrested by ICE, because the Trump administration has made at this point very clear. If you are here illegally, irrespective of whether you are a criminal, you are susceptible and vulnerable to being arrested and deported from the country.
I'm curious about the process here for the Venezuelans under this status. Were they required to be checking in regularly? I mean, in other words, does the government have a likelihood of knowing where they are and where to find them?
Some of them had to check in with ICE regularly, but they all had to submit applications with U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, a federal agency overseeing the legal immigration system, and that agency was supposed to vet and screen them for any public safety or national security concerns.
Good afternoon. It was just broadcasted over the news that the Supreme Court is allowing the Trump administration to cancel the temporary protective status of over 350,000 Venezuelans. They had this protective status under the Biden administration. as the Venezuelan, they were fleeing the dictator from their country. So now this protective status is being lifted. You rest assured that 350,000 of y'all are going home. So, you know, I don't know. I don't think there's any way around it at this point. But, you know, I mean, win some, you lose some. I don't know how I feel about this. I mean, they did have temporary status. So I don't know. I don't know anymore. I don't even know what to think anymore, to be honest with you. But I'm just telling you guys. All right. Have a blessed day. Bye.
Okay, so the Supreme Court just allowed the Trump administration to suspend, at least temporarily, and revoke the temporary protected status for Venezuelans. No? So there were at least 350,000 Venezuelans that have been allowed to remain in the United States because of humanitarian reasons. Now, remember, what this means is that this administration believes that it is okay to return back to a country where over 7 million people have fled as of May 2024 because of the incredible humanitarian crisis this country is undergoing. Another important thing to keep in mind right now is how all of this, how this Trump decision affects South Florida politics. Remember that one of the reasons why Donald Trump was able to flip Miami-Dade County isn't just because of the Cuban vote, but also because of the Venezuelan vote. Now, for many, many years, Venezuelans have seen Donald Trump as a hero. The question is, what about now?
Venezuelan people in Florida, my Venezuelans and people in Florida who voted for Trump, you guys okay? I mean, I don't hear no more cheering. All I'm hearing now is tears. I heard you motherfuckers voted for him in high numbers in election in November, this past November. I heard when Trump won, you motherfuckers was cheering. One thing I could say about Orange Palpatine, he may not be a good businessman, but he's a good salesman. He sold you dumb bitches a dream. You felt for it, and now y'all about to cha-cha your ass right up out of here. I'm laughing because the shit is funny, and it's funny because you motherfuckers had a decision to make this past November. And I'm not laughing. And to my people who did the right thing and affected by this, my heart goes out to them. But the motherfuckers who voted for that son of a bitch and be infected by this shit is funny as hell. You damn right I'm laughing. I'm laughing my ass off. I'm laughing my ass off. This man had a manuscript. That's how bold these motherfuckers was. A manuscript of Project 2025. He said, man, fuck that. We gonna put this motherfucker in writing. That's how bold we are. Go out there and say, I don't know anything about it. Sold you motherfuckers a dream. And now you motherfuckers about to cha-cha your ass up out of here. Now you feel some type of way. I regret. He lied to us. No, he didn't. He didn't lie to you motherfuckers. Everything that's happening was in Project 2025. All you had to do is your research. He didn't lie. You motherfuckers fell for the con. You motherfuckers fell for the lies. He lied when he said he did not know anything about it. That was a lie. But all you had to do is read Project 2025 and realize everything that's going on now was in that manuscript. No. You fell for the lie of, I don't know anything about it. Oh, well, why you cha-cha your ass out back to where you come from? Maybe you will go out on a lesson learned and realize the next time you do your fucking homework. Elections have consequences. Hope you learn from yours.
Here's some news and information that you can certainly use. The Supreme Court today said that the Trump administration can strip more than 300,000 Venezuelan migrants of temporary protected status. And of course, you know that there are going to be some folks that are going to be super excited about that particular information. So a federal judge had blocked the administration from abruptly ending a program that allowed the migrants to live and work temporarily in the United States due to living conditions in their own country. But the Justice Department argued courts don't have the authority to review decisions by the Homeland Security Secretary, quote, in the fast-moving area of foreign affairs. Lawyers for the Venezuelans responded that it should be uncontroversial that federal courts say what the law is. U.S. District Court Judge Edward Chen in Northern California ruled in March that ending the program could harm hundreds of thousands of people, cost the economy billions of dollars, and hurt public health and safety. He also said the government had failed to identify any real harm in keeping the program in place while the migrants are challenging its termination. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, I almost choked, in February ordered an end to the program called Temporary Protected Status. She concluded that the immigrants burdened local governments and said some Venezuelans were members of the gang Tren de Aragua, which President Donald Trump has declared a foreign terrorist organization. The advocacy group National TPS Alliance and a handful of Venezuelans are literally arguing and suing that it's not safe for them to return to their own country. So for more news and information, you can always head over to brownstoneworldwide.com. Follow me on Substack later on during the day. I'll be going live today, after we finish all of the high school and senior things that are happening in this household. All right, you guys, I'll see you later. See you around.
The last administration gave 350,000 Venezuelans deportation protection because it wasn't safe for them to get home? Respectfully, what they gotta do with me? What you mean it wasn't safe for them to go home? Was it safe for them to break into the country? Why did they get a reward for being a criminal? There's criminals doing crime for free! The Supreme Court agrees with Donald Trump in making America 350,000 Venezuelans lighter. You wanna know what I love the most? Donald Trump proposes whatever he's about to do, and everybody, oh my God, such a bad idea, 8-1 vote from the Supreme Court. Shut the fuck up. Don't forget, they were telling us that Donald Trump was wrong for using the Aliens Enemy Act to deport all these people about the country. Wrong again! The Supreme Court backed him up on that too. So now you have to sit and think, can this man, Donald Trump, miss? Keep it up, Donald Trump. I can't wait till we figure out who was operating that auto pen while Joe Biden was getting his chemotherapy.
This is a very interesting article on CNN, and it's one of the reasons why I believe MAGAs who have FAFO have not learned their lesson. I really don't think they have. And one of the ways that you can tell that someone has not learned their lesson is that if you ask them, will you vote for this man again? And they stumble upon their words when it should be a simple yes or no. Yeah, they're going to vote for him again. They will vote for Trump again, despite them losing their jobs, despite them losing their benefits, despite them losing the opportunity to live in the U.S. And such is the case of Venezuelans that live in South Florida in a little place called Dorazuela. That's what they nicknamed it. Where many of the Venezuelans who currently have TPS status are set to be deported. Now, this is an area in which there's a lot of Venezuelans that live there, legal and non-residents. And Trump won this area by 20% more than 2020. Now, one of the reasons that some of the Venezuelans supported Trump was because his tough line on government abuses in their homeland. However, they didn't expect their relatives to be deported. And this is why I'm telling you that these FAFO stories are not enough for MAGAs to learn their lesson. So we have one guy, Noel Gerestri, a Venezuelan who voted for Trump, but his sister's on TPS status. And in this article, he still backs the president, and he hopes that the court blocks the TPS revocation. So he's not blaming Trump. In fact, he's still supporting him, and he's waiting for the courts to give him a Hail Mary. And this is Noel Giestre's words. He said, I supported him, but it disappointed us that he decided to end TPS. It bothered us that he put everyone in the same bucket. So you thought you were special? You thought you were special. You were excluded from the Haitians, from the Mexicans. And this is why I really don't care. So he voted because he thought it was not going to affect him. Now, we already know about that crazy Venezuelan lady who works for the Venezuelan advocacy group who went on stage with Donald Trump and talking about, we love you, Donald Trump. We love you. Now, I think she's the one that's really upset with the Republican Party because she felt like they lied to her. That may be an actual case of FAFO right there. But do you know what I'm really surprised at? Is those Venezuelans TPS holders that are not able to vote, but they still support him, like Johanna Lazarde. Listen, I am putting their names out there. This foolishness has to stop. She says, I want to believe him that in the next weeks and the next month, he will take a decision with his team that will help us. Another Venezuelan TPS holder, Carol Duran Perez, supports Donald Trump because she believes him to be a stronger leader than Biden. She didn't expect that he was going to undo the TPS. She wanted them to go after Venezuelan gang members like Tren de Aragua. And now she's afraid to let her 13-year-old son play in the park for fear that ICE will pick him up. And to make matters worse in Doral, the vice mayor who ran as a Democratic candidate became a Republican like 5 days before Trump became president. Now she is stating that if the local TPS holders are deported, that the city's economy will come to a grinding halt. First of all, I believe this vice mayor who says she was a Democrat and now turned Republican was always a Republican plant in the first place. I believe she voted for Trump. And now she's crying that her city is going to falter because these people are going to be deported. I really don't give an F. We will never embrace you back in the Democratic Party. You chose your side and go die in it. Well, I'm not sure if she's Venezuelan, but I do know that their city councilman is Venezuelan, Rafael Pinero, and he voted for Donald Trump. And although he opposes Trump's TPS move, he believes that the president needs to make drastic moves in response to Biden's less restrictive immigration policy. What he's saying is what I hear from other MAGA supporters is that they're going to have to sacrifice, and then we will finally see the light. This is why I say that I don't think MAGAs have the capability of learning from their mistakes. And because of this reason, I will not bestow any sympathy for them. You have a blessed day.
This is all I got from this video. Some people did not listen. Some people thought it was a joke. Now, a whole 350,000, that is a whole lot. Sincerely speaking, I just do not have anything to tell Venezuelans. I do not have anything to say. And if I tell you that I am sorry or I feel bad for you, at this point, I do not feel bad. The only people I feel bad for are the ones that did the right thing. But majority of you people did the wrong thing. So how am I supposed to sympathize with you for doing the wrong thing? So my heart goes out to the ones that did the right thing. And this is also affecting them. Because tell me how you all are so adamant. I have never, ever seen people that do not like themselves. Like, you know when they say people, you are supposed to love yourself. You all do not love yourself. This man was very intentional. He made it clear what he was going to do. He said it openly, right? And my people called you all and said, do not do this because it's going to put not just you, everybody in problem, especially you people. It will put everybody in problem, especially you people, right? And you all said no because you all want to align with white supremacy by all means, because that was why you did what you did. Because I have never seen somebody waking up by herself to go and vote against herself. Such a great story. And the worst part is that when you still ask them, they will tell you they will still vote for him. So at this point in time, you all already know the crisis that made you come to where you are now. And the person that gave you that opportunity to be where you are now was who? Joe Biden. So you all can see. You all people yourselves everywhere, not people that look like me. So if you know what is good for you, sort yourself out. Not just only is this Venezuelan, a lot of you woke up and choose to do what you did. And I have never seen something like this, but it happened. The best place you all had the opportunity to make things right, and that was in November. At this point in time, there is nothing you can do. There is nothing, and the court has already straight up. That is to tell you how they do not feel anything for you, how they will never ever put you first. The Supreme Court will allow the Trump administration to end deportation protection for hundreds of thousands of Venezuelan migrants. Make no mistake. You all called, he answered. You all said it's Donald Trump. He is there for you. So now, who is having fun now and who is not having fun? I have never ever experienced what you like. This is like my first time of seeing people that are supposed to bind themselves together and work for a better common goal, turning against themselves and working for the worst goal. So how do you want to do it now at this point in time? Not just see, the worst part is that this one doesn't even care what it's gonna happen, what it's going on, and all that. You all can see everything going on at this point in time is affecting the United States. You can see that vividly. But he doesn't care. He doesn't mind. Let it affect. No matter how it happens, they will look for a way to survive it. It's already hard on them. But still, they are not considering you at all because you do not have that skin color for protection. Put this in your brain, in your skull. Let it enter and marinate very well. Not until you all start waking up, start being ready for yourself, start looking for a way to be in community with people that know better than you, people that understand this politics more than you. You all will continue to make this mistake. Say thy kingdom come, a whole 350,000, even more, because one thing with this target is once they start deporting, they will deport the ones that are even supposed to say and the ones that are not supposed to say, because a whole 350, how are they supposed to find them? So the innocent and the ones that are not innocent will be the one to enjoy it. Say he was going to jail. Don't you know that you are the criminal? Bye for now.